All right, we're getting ready to weld the hoop together. And one thing I like to do is kind of underbend my angles a little bit. Overbending's no good. You're gonna have to pull it back. So I underbend them so they're a little bit less than 90, and then I just tension it into place when I'm welding. Use number 1238 for NRS cam strap. I got my little nipple, just like that, just like that. Sometimes my bends are a little bit off on the other angle, so not just the bend, but the I don't know. So like you can see that end over there is lifted a little bit. What I also like to do is I'll just grab some of these. When it comes to raft frames, I'm not too concerned on perfection because it's going on something that is a little bit flexible to begin with. But if I can get as close to perfect as possible, then kudos, you know? That looks good. All the other corners are flat, so I should be able to kind of close up these and weld it together, and it should be great.
I shouldn't have to remind you that when welding galvanized, you need protection.
Boom. Side deck, I've decided I could bump it the extra 2 inches to make it flush up against where the rocket boxes would sit and the cooler. But one thought, how would I be able to get the cooler out without a gap right here to be able to reach in and you know, grab the handle or whatever? So that might be a pain in the ass. And also, the distance that it's at right now is 12 inches. And when I buy this sheet metal, it comes in foot increments as far as width. So I can get, you know, a 4 foot long piece at 12 inches wide, or I can get a 4 foot by 24 inches wide. And that would be just silly of me to buy a piece that was 24 inches wide and have to cut it down to 14 inches. It wouldn't be clean, and it would just be a waste of time. So I'll take off a couple inches, make it exactly 12 inches wide for my side decks, be able to buy a piece of the sheet metal, and boom, put it right on. This is still a fairly wide side deck. The side deck on this frame over here is only 9 inches, you know, so boom, 9-inch wide side deck on there. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice wide footprint.
All right, so I got it set up, tensioned to kind of get everything squared up really well.
All right, here's exactly the reason why I sketch things out, but that's not my blueprint. It's just an idea, right? Because now, when I kind of lay things out, my spacing's just a little bit changed. Cooler up here, just kind of seeing how it fits in, I'm realizing that if I had it such a tight fit, it might give me issues later of just ease of getting it in and out. Not that I'm gonna be taking it in and out all the time. For fishing, it's just gonna live there. But on a multi-day sense, you might be pulling the cooler out every once in a while, especially just to access to drain, because that's important if you want to keep your ice, right? I've kind of decided to give it a little bit more space. And on top of that, it'd be nice, you know, if I'm using big buckle cam straps, it'd be nice if they just fell and I didn't have to like wiggle the cooler around. Just from experience of being on a multi-day trips for a month. Little things like that can get to be a pain in the ass just when you're trying to rig every morning to get everything strapped down. Just being able to fish a strap through the dang crossbar is nice. With that being said, I've kind of settled on 20 inches center to center for this gap. So that means I'd want to match that for my rower's bay, 20. And that would mean that my center bay would also be 20, because it's a 5 foot, you know, 60 inch. And so 20, 20, 20, that it's actually kind of cool. You know, I didn't plan on that, but having everything the same, not really any reason, but I could move the cooler to the center, to the back. I can move the dry boxes, you know, rocket boxes to the front or the back, or a drop bag. I can put it anywhere. Here's a cool idea. If I really wanted to be the gear boat, I'd have it set up with the rocket boxes in every bay. I could do 4 abreast, and I could do my stern frame back here, and I can just be rowing down river, put all the gear in the front, and this could be a gear boat. That'd be kind of ridiculous. It's kind of where I'm settling, is doing spacing like that. So let's get welding.
This is one of the most satisfying things ever. Check this out. Wow, perfect fit. Doesn't get any better. That's gonna be such an easy weld.
All right, things are coming together. I like it. I like it a lot. It does look cramped. Now, obviously this is me kind of filling it to the max. These rocket boxes don't need to be here. Room for activities, whoa. This looks pretty good now. I do love to carry a basket, either like a milk crate, or let's see how it fits in there. I call it Carol Basket, and Carol Basket is just a great thing to have. Oh, come on. Yes, Carol Basket fits perfect. Carol Basket, yes. But yeah, so that's just rides along, and that's where things that you don't like go. Garbage, empty cans goes there, then you can take it out and you can dump Carol Basket. So the next challenge is figuring out oar tower height and everything. Luckily, I have a frame to reference as far as what has worked in the past, as far as spacing and whatnot. This is like 18-inch gap. When you row forward, you actually when you're pushing, and then you lift the oar out of the water, so you push your hand down, you sometimes come and clip the cooler, right? So that was one of the downsides of this frame, is that it was a little bit too close with those 2 bays. Just a couple inches. I mean, really, it's just like your knuckles brush it. So a couple inches extra. Now that's what I got here. I'm gonna love it when I have a deck here to stand on. It's gonna be awesome. I would want my oar to be right about there. I think that's gonna be good. I won't come in contact with the, cooler in front of me. And as long as the oar is tall enough, or the oar tower is tall enough when I come down, which, going off the height there, that's like a solid 8-inch oar tower. Let's go at least 6 inches. That's pretty standard. So 6-inch tall oar tower should get me there. That'll get my oar way out of the water, so I can come back and push. All right, so if you're trying to figure out how tall your oar towers want to be, what you need to do is go down to your local Harbor Freight, get yourself a 2-ton heavy duty engine hoist. So that way you can suspend your oar and figure out how high you want it to be. Basically, you want to make sure, like, my seat is kind of put up to a height where I think it's going to be. There's that. And then these are the oars I might use. These are some old beat up cataracts that we found in the bottom of the river. But I might pretty them up and get them working. With the oar blade off, when you touch the ground, that's, effectively putting the oar blade all the way in the water. That's the height I'd be looking at taking most of my strokes. And honestly, this is just about right. If I'm sitting up, push-up position, right? I'm gonna get the most power right there in line with your, your pecs, your chest. The other thing is, like, if it's resting on my knees, high out of the water. All I need is basically that to get it out of the water. So if I take a forward stroke and I lift, I got a couple inches of clearance right there. I'm not gonna hit my knees. We're sitting about, it's hard to tell, but it looks like about 7 inches up to the blue strap. Now, I would have to guess that if I made a 6-inch tall bar and then I put the oar lock on that would give me another little bump. And so when this sits in a 6-inch tall tower with the oar lock on top, that would give me about the same height as this. I don't want to go much taller because this is pretty high up. I definitely don't want, to have this be the factor where it's way up here in your face. That's just not fun. Being too low is also an issue if it's going to be, hitting your knees and stuff. So it's kind of important that you find the sweet spot. My theory is that I put my seat a little bit high for what it might be. So this is kind of the extreme end, and I'd like to think that I can always raise my seat up if necessary compared to lowering it down. So I'm trying to guess on the high side of things. That's just kind of a little trick I came up with for figuring out floor tower height. We'll see if it actually works in the end. All right, a little reminder to measure twice, cut once, or in this case, measure 5 times, bend once. So this I actually like quite well. I like it how it goes the entire length, basically. Lots of room. My idea with this oar tower is to just have, you know, a few spots for the oar lock to sit, and then the rest of the rail is for whatever, strapping stuff to the deck, or what I plan to do is get some rod holders that I can clamp onto the tube, and then I have kind of an elevated spot to have rods for pulling plugs or whatever. When I measured it out, I thought that I was going to be pretty good. I want a 6-inch rise and 45-degree bend down. I thought I was going to be between the corners, and I'm pretty much exactly at the corner, and that is just not good enough. So I'm gonna have to scrap this piece and go with this one. This one is a little bit shorter. I'll show you. I mean, that's the difference right there. Is at 3 inches is what I did. But what that means is that now where I'm going to be welding and attaching is on the straight and not on the bend. Right, so that's just a little thing there that I had to do. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to get another piece and bend it, and that's going to be for scraps. And yeah, things are coming together. I might get a frame that's usable by tonight.